Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my June reading journal setup. I know it is extremely late, but I had a few people ask me if I was going to post it, so I decided to go ahead and post it. This month's reading journal is going to be a little bit different. I haven't really been reading as much as I normally do. The last few months have been really busy and just kind of crazy, so I haven't really picked up too many books, but I still really wanted to create this month's reading journal because I have read a few. So as far as the design for this goes, I went based off of the sunflower picture that you see on the left-hand side. I really loved that picture and I really wanted to go with this sort of vintagey floral theme. So I basically just picked out as many of the papers that I could find in my stash that matched and just kind of went with it. This video also is slightly different because you will see that I had no plan going into this, so I cut out a lot of footage. There's really only 2 spreads in this video, but I could not make a decision to save my life. But I actually really love the way that it turned out. I had to bring in some butterflies because, I just can't resist the butterflies, but I really do love the way that it turned out. So I'm changing things up a little bit. If you watched my last reading journal video, you'll know that I have recently become obsessed with Mochi Bujo on YouTube. She's amazing. She has the best content. She's so creative. But in her reading journal, she doesn't do a TBR or a to be read list. She does basically just the books that she read and that's it. And since I've had such a hard time coming up with TBR lists, I decided to kind of go with what she does. And on the cover page, just put the books that I read for the month of July. I think this will definitely help a lot in coming up with the books that I read because I'm very much a mood reader, as you guys know. And sometimes it's just hard for me to read books that I've scheduled myself to read. And then I get kind of hard on myself, and reading is fun. It should not be something that is a chore. So I think that this will really help with my reading slump that I've been in. I will say that I have started rereading the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and oh man, I love that series so much. It's just so good. There's just no getting around it. If you like fantasy, you have to read that series. It's just so good. I'm almost done. I think I'm like 90% done with A Court of Mist and Fury, and I may stop there because honestly the rest of the books took me a little while to get through. They're good, don't get me wrong, they're really good, but I think I'm ready to move on to a different type of book. So anyways, what I'm doing here is I'm setting up just basically a cover page, and this is where I will write out the books that I have read for the month of June. Did I say July earlier? I probably did, but I meant June. It's been a couple of months, man. Anyways, so what I'm doing is I'm just doing regular scrapbook spread. I took a frame stamp that I had that I got from, I believe, a Studio Calico monthly kit, a monthly story kit, I believe is what they're called. The story kits is what I get a subscription of. And I use a lot from them. I know I said that I was probably going to cancel, and I probably should because I like the idea of being able to buy things that I actually want and definitely will use. But I also really love the idea of you get a surprise every month of stuff that you're not expecting. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyways, so I'm just kind of going through my stash and just seeing what matches this theme. I've used some of the washi tape that I got from the washi tape shop, the daisy one you guys know I'm obsessed with. Pulled some butterflies and this really cool bee. It was a stamp shape, but it's like an insect vintagey sort of frame thing, and I just kind of cut out the circle part and I'm using that as some decoration. And the craft paper background is actually paper that I got from Stationery Pal, and it's really thin, so it's actually really good for this kind of collaging because you do a lot of layers and then your journal gets really thick and then you can't close it. So I actually really love the way that this turned out. I like the idea of having the little boxes for the books that I've read. I think it's going to be really fun. So to finish off this spread, I'm just doing some sparkles, of course. You know, I love sparkles. And that will be my cover page for the month of June. So this spread here is my format, time tracker, and my book of the month picks spread. I also thought about canceling my book of the month because I don't know if you guys know this or not. I said it in my bullet journal setup at the very beginning of the year, but we're trying to save to buy a house. So we're trying to cut out all the subscriptions and stuff like that. But I feel like it sort of relates to my channel in a way, so we haven't canceled these things. Anyways, I thought about canceling my book of the month because I only read about one book a month, but I get 3. So I'm trying to challenge myself this month to read at least 2. And that way, maybe it will help catch me up a little bit. I have a ton of book of the month picks that I have not read, and they're all really good seeming books. So I'm excited to read them. I just, there's always A Court of Thorns and Roses to reread for no reason other than the fact that you love it. Anyway. I can't help it. I love that series. So this is where my book of the month picks will go. I basically just take a picture of the books that I picked for that month, and I put that picture in the big square on the right-hand side. The little calendars are where I will put the format of the book that I read that particular day. So if I read a physical book, I'll just put like a little circle around the date, or an audiobook or a digital book. I actually just started reading A Court of Mist and Fury on ebook because we went on vacation and I didn't want to take all the books with me. So I downloaded them on ebook on my Kindle, and I forgot how much I love my Kindle. I hardly ever get on it, but I'm in love with it again. The bottom of the screen where all the flowers are, all the stamps, I got those from Amazon. I will leave those linked below. Those are where my time tracker will be. I'll just color each one in with a different color depending on how long I read that day. It's just something I keep track of. I don't know why. I just do. I like it. So I do it. So what I did was I stamped all the flowers along the bottom, knowing that the bottom part would be covered with some of this craft paper. That is the one thing I actually did plan because I wanted to use some of the scrap wrapping paper that I had. And so I did plan that part out. I knew I wanted to line the top and the bottom with this ripped look. And that was about all that I had planned on this particular page. So I'm using some washi tape and some more stationery pal paper and just tearing it and using it as the headers for each one of these items. Here I am swatching out the markers that I want to use for my time tracker, and I kept that in. I do that for almost every video. If I use markers, I use my little sketchbook to swatch out what markers I want to use. And I kept that in because I feel like I kept in a lot of me sort of figuring things out. So I decided to keep that part in so you guys can kind of see the thought process of how I pick my markers. I just grab all the colors I think are pretty and go from there. So these stamps that I'm using, I got from, I believe, Hobby Lobby, possibly Joann. I'll link them down below if I can. They are really cool because they have almost like a distressed look to them. Like in some places they sort of don't show up, and in some places they show up too much, and it's almost like this vintagey look, and I actually really like them. I forget that I have them because they're kind of buried in my drawer, and the other ones are just so handy, and they're about the same size, but I love the way they look, especially with the brown. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I'm slightly obsessed with my brown Faber-Castell pens right now. And the brown ink, I don't know when the last time I did a journal in black. I'm just obsessed with this sepia tone. It's so pretty. So I'm curious, do you guys read more in the summertime because you like to lay out by the pool and read or go to the beach and read? Or do you read less in the summertime because you're out and about more and you're not hanging out inside your house? I sort of read less in the summertime because we're outside more and we're doing more things together as a family, whereas in the wintertime we're huddled up inside the house. But if you do read a lot in the summer, leave me some recommendations in the comments down below because I need something new. I can only read A Court of Thorns and Roses so many times. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.